Input devices. Yep, we don't want that. And that's probably way the heck low. I recall I usually do more like 33%. Let me see if I can get a... See if I get a little feedback here. Oh, hi, Michael. Thank you, thank you. There we go. That's a much more reasonable level. Yeah, I've had a couple of windows of opportunity the last couple of days to get on and stream, but every time I was about to, there's English Bob. So, yeah, we can just minimize that for now. We don't need to throw it away. So let's drag this sort of into shape. Hey, Craig. Long see, no time. Yeah, lots of no time. Probably not going to be much in the future here, but oh well. We have an abundance of no time. Yeah. Okay, let me cut down the nattering on my little Android next to my head here. And we'll tell YouTube that I don't necessarily need to see it at 144p when I glance over. That's a little better. Get an idea of what's going on the screen here. So, yep. So there we go. There's a little sample of what the boot up looks like on this little experimental partition. So just to give the game away, this is my Ubuntu 2110. A little bit of M.U.Y.O goodies stolen and applied to an Ubuntu installation. So let's see, we got this going. Got that. Let's just bring up one of these guys. Ka-chunk. Help me get things lined up here. Yep, so when Dan said, make it your own, I'm not sure he meant steal wholesale big chunks of it and apply it to a different system, but oh well. Wham, 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 wham. Let's see, I can do this, I think. Whoops. If I get the right... There we go. Unfortunately, the left shift key on my laptop is getting a little unreliable. Okay, well, that seems to be working. Let's get this so I can see the little VU meters peeking out from behind. Yeah, that'll do. Okay. So don't actually have anything significant to do on the old truck sim here. But what the heck. So yeah, basically MX21, as we were saying in a previous stream, not mine, but a previous stream, has pretty much taken over all the gaming functions. You know, because I had, backing up the story a little bit, closer to a beginning. Started off with, on this machine, I had, you know, a remnant Windows sitting stuffed in a corner somewhere and occasionally updated once a month or whatever, but mostly ignored. And I had my main serious business partition, which this time around I set up with Ubuntu just because, open box is kind of fun. And for a lazy person like myself, that's a nice stock way of getting access to some open box goodies. At least it was back in the 1804 long-term service release with LXDE on Ubuntu. You could get a little bit of open box goodies without being real expert at it, or even vaguely clumsy, which is my current state. And I had a Ubuntu Core partition installed where I did the gaming, because at that time some kind of Ubuntu base was the best way to get the wonderful, delightful hybrid Optimus NVIDIA graphics on this silly laptop to work reasonably well. And of course I always had some kind of third partition set up with some kind of Linux. Played with Manjaro a little bit until it borked itself. Manjaro always borks itself for me. Sorry. I know I'm supposed to be reading the release notes before every update comes popping up on the screen or something, and yeah, fine, great, wonderful. So, for funsies, I put MX on there. Had MX19 running for quite a while, because MX is just an enjoyable environment to kind of goof around in. So then it's getting to be kind of a little long in the tooth on my 1804 LTS partitions. So let's see. Yeah. Let's do little visuals. Hey there, EB. Yeah. Just giving the story of my... Wah! Boy, that's loud. Let's get him to shut up a while. So, okay, so that's where I was set. A couple of 1804 Ubuntu partitions. One for serious business, one for gaming. An MX in the middle for funsies. And as I said, we're getting into 22 here, and an 1804 is getting to look a little long in the tooth. So I'm looking around and say, okay, how am I going to update this? So... a little more shut up go on here. If it ever gets around to. I don't remember having the music this loud. Oh well. So I started looking around. Okay, what am I going to update to? I took a backup of my serious business partition and let Ubuntu go through its, we're going to upgrade you to 2004. Happy nonsense. And it was a dang good thing I kept a backup of my 1804, because it went from LXDE to LXQT, and all kinds of random stuff broke. It was very annoying. So I backed out of that. And anyway, as we mentioned earlier, MX has a really nice advanced hardware support version now. So I said, okay, we'll do the easy one first. I'll replace my MX19 with an MX21. Stuck that on, goofed around with it for a while, and then I noticed that the little frame rate counter down there in the lower right of my truck sims was doing as well as I was getting off my gaming partition, because of the brilliant job that Dolphin and the rest of the crew have been doing over at MX. So, okay, well, that's easy. So, MX19 went to MX21. MX21 ate the function that my Ubuntu Core partition used to do. It took over the truck sims. All right, well, that's 2 out of 3 I figured out. And, the Ubuntu direct upgrade experiment was a failure. And I looked around what I was doing on the serious business partition. Oh, let's see. Hey, EB, next Halloween, you ought to dye a pair of Spock ears green and go as Grandpa Yoda. Off my yard, you kids get. No, actually, MX, we got a beautiful view of MX on your stream. So I figured I'd bring up my little Frankenstein partition. Because, let's see if I do a little... Whoops. Will he let me do Shift-Tab here? Yes, he will. What a good beastie. Here's a clue. Guess what this is? And pay no attention to the man behind the decent menu system. Stole a bit of Dan's hard work to set up the menuing. This is my Boxbuntu 21.10. Hey, Robert. As I said, I'm using MX21 for the workhorse because first it absorbed the functions of the gaming partition, and then I suddenly realized that, as Ghosty pointed out a few weeks ago, MX pretty much tries to do everything, which is not necessarily a bad thing because it was able to take over the serious business functions of my Ubuntu partition as well. So I just set up with another login user ID on MX for email and banking and all the boring junk, keeping track of archives and like that. So then I had a couple free partitions, and I said, well, I'm kind of enjoying the open box stuff. I've been playing with M.U.Y.O Linux for a while. But there's some stuff that I kind of, want to experiment with in Ubuntu. So, well, I stuck a fairly minimal Ubuntu. They've worked on the installer so that Ubuntu Core you can install directly as you're going through the whatever the heck installer they use. I can never keep track. As you're going through the standard Ubuntu installer, one of the options is, hey, you want to just put on Ubuntu Core instead of a full Ubuntu? Okay. So I stuffed that on and then immediately started installing OpenBox bits and bobs and stealing pieces out of M.U.Y.O Linux, and this is the horrible Frankenstein result. Hey, Robert. It's some kind of, it's that god-awful hybrid, yeah. Let me see if I got NeoFetch on here anywhere. Maybe, maybe not. Nah, probably not yet. Well, easily remedied. All right. Reload. Cha-chink, 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 cha-chink. Come on, come on. There's a boy. You can do it. All right. Like that? Yeah, might as well. Sure, why not? Kaka utils? Well, who knew? Well, that pulls in a... Wait a minute. Back up there. That seems like an awful lot of stuff to pull in just to... How does it compare with its older compatriot? Oh, I've already got it in there anyway, so never mind. Never mind. That's entirely different. So, terminal. I should set up a little. There we go. So, what was the question again? GPU. NVIDIA GeForce And they claim it's the equivalent of a GTX 1050 Ti. But of course, it's the lovely and delightful. I won't say the other adjective I was trying to avoid saying there. It's the lovely and delightful Optimus NVIDIA hybrid hardware. About 4 years old at this point. So it's sort of an imitation 1050. But it's not bad. Does my truck sims, so, what do I care? Ooh, you got a 125 ETS session. Yeah. Yeah, and if it were the actual card, yeah. Of course it's not. It's, soldered to the motherboard somewhere. Some other piece of hardware that NVIDIA decided is roughly equivalent to. But, as I say, it works. And MX21 does a superb job with the advanced hardware stack. And, of course, Ubuntu has always kind of done pretty good at brute forcing it into working by just turning it on and leaving it on. So, that's what I've been pretty much doing here. But this was a way for me to, have some fun with OpenBox. Although if you look in the settings menu, you can still see there's a ton of the XFCE settings stuff still left here. But we got OBConf and we got good old LX appearance. So I took the liberty of making copies of them down here in case I didn't want to search for them through the settings menu. But a little bit of, having cake, eating it too. I get to have an Ubuntu to play with now instead of using it for my serious business. Oh, is that where I am? That's nice to know. Let's see. Yeah, that's a little longer than I really want. Okay, you've got a 125 ETS session? Wait, what? Let's go do a little investigating here. Yeah, that's still running pretty good on the little tablet. Convoys. Please note, yada yada yada. Ah, wonder what wizardry that is. Is that on like the 144, yeah. Beta? Boy, that took a long time to get there. Because back here on 143, we're still, looks like limited to a max of 8. Alright, that's enough. I don't know about anybody else, but is the music too loud? Oh, definitely. UI music line. Crikey, how far down do I have to crank it? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's try 3. It's lovely stuff, guys, but seriously. Huh. All right, you're going to have to someday do a little presentation on how you accomplish that miracle. Oh, okay. I guess it's just blasting in my ears through the headphones. Oh. So while we're goofing around here, man, it's been so long since I've been streaming. Getting editorial comments from the canine contingent here. Let's run one of those. Happy little open box. Yeah, so Dan got me to the just dangerous enough state with OpenBox. Basically get to steal bits and pieces off of M.U.Y.O Linux and produce this strange hybrid. Yeah, alright. Although my Convoy profile is over on the old MX-21 workhorse. Let's see. Who do I have that's got... Yeah, that's pretty much it for... Though I think Blue also has. Yep, 0. Hey, Vince. Greetings. Hi, Don. Huh. Let me just check a little something on the audio here on the tablet. Hang on. Let me just check a little something on the audio. Yeah, well, that's good. I'm glad the music isn't being distracting on your end. All right. Yeah, the balance doesn't look too bad on the little VU meters there on OBS. That's good. All right. All right, so we were looking at convoys. That's interesting. Much fewer over here. Yeah, I don't see much EB-ish here. If it's up and running, I have no idea. Oh, okay, there's somebody else's. I wonder how this works. Oh, there you go. English Bob is now playing Euro Truck Simulator, it says in my lower left corner of the ETS screen. Oh, we've changed tracks. Oh, there's the refresh. All right. This just in. Workers at the Lipton Tea Company have hit the picket lines. Anger is brewing, and management relationships are strained. Oh, there you go. Yep. 2 minutes. Yep. Of course, I should see if the stream can survive the translation over to MX. Do like a reboot in the middle of a stream. That would be interesting. Because YouTube claims, hey, until you say close the stream, we'll wait for you. Anyway, this is just... Over here is where I keep my base map only type profiles. So, limited convoying capability. But that'd be interesting to find out what that looks like. No mods, no AI. Ah, okay. So let's go back over to the Convoy page. Filters. Yeah, okay. Leave the mods ticky mark off. And let's see. So we'll look for ones with no traffic. So disabled AI. Try that first. No, he's not seeing it. Maybe something that I have to do on my end. I don't know. Well, let's do the refresh here. Any particular name I should look for? Alrighty-o. An excellent name. That must be something else that I would need to be able to see it, because it's just not popping up. Of course, the other thing is, who knows, it may be a Windows exclusive. There's always that possibility. I'm running the old, native Linux truck sims. So maybe it would show up on a Proton-based, but give it one more little jump out, jump in. Nope, it's not going to let me see it. Sessions, Vids the mods. Try that. See if that makes something show up. No, assuming this is still alphabetical, I am not allowed to see it. Okay. Thanks, Don. So let's see. Well, we could try the experiment. Yeah, what the heck. I'm not really here to do a trucking stream, more of a, woo, look at this horrible thing I built. But it does run like a son of a gun. Yeah, that's a thought. Give me a H-top. Yeah. So let's see, I've got browser, games, OBS running, and he says 2.25 out of 15.5. If I'm not running nothing when I first boot up, it's under a gig. I was astonished for an Ubuntu. So. Hey, oddball. I'm going to try not to end the stream here, although I am going to reboot, so we will see how this goes. I'm trying to see a magical 125 member Convoy server. So, alrighty-o. We need you up again. So we're not going to hit the end stream. We're going to just reboot. So I'm hoping I will be back momentarily, because it doesn't take too long to reboot into MX. So stay tuned. Hopefully this is just a brief intermission.